The city of New Arcadia woke slowly, like any normal day. Streets were still quiet. The sun had just started to rise. Birds flew over empty rooftops, unaware of what was coming. People turned on their coffee machines. Children got ready for school. And cars started to fill the roads. It was peaceful, calm, too calm. Captain Rain Carter, 42, sat on the small balcony of his old apartment. He sipped black coffee, staring at the pink-orange sky. His dog, Bolt, lay near his feet, ears twitching. Rain had once served in Earth's military division, but now he was retired. After decades of fighting human wars, he had wanted nothing but peace. He took a deep breath. "Looks like a quiet day," he whispered, but peace never lasts forever. Suddenly, a low hum filled the air. Faint at first, like a machine turning on in the distance. Rain sat up, eyes narrowing. The hum grew louder. People across the city stopped and looked up. Dogs barked. Windows shook lightly. Rain stood. "That's not thunder," he said aloud. Then the sky cracked open. A massive rip appeared in the clouds. Electric light tore through the atmosphere. From the tier, black alien ships poured out like insects from a hive, huge, sharp, and deadly. Their engines made the air vibrate. Screens followed. Car alarms blared. Birds scattered. Rain's cup fell from his hand. "No, not now," he whispered. Within seconds, the ships spread across the sky. One stopped right over New Arcadia. It was nearly a mile wide, casting a shadow over the city. Then a voice echoed, not from speakers, not from the sky, but from inside everyone's minds. "This planet is now under control of the Zarkith Dominion. Do not resist. You are property." Now people clutched their heads, confused and afraid. Children cried. Adults fell to their knees, shocked. Rain stared at the ship. "Zarkith," he said. "I've heard that name before." Suddenly, bright blue lights shot from the ships, not bombs. Teleport beams. Alien troops began landing across the city. Tall, armored figures with glowing weapons and insect-like helmets. They moved quickly, organizing civilians into groups. Anyone who ran was shot with a paralyzing blast. From next door, Rain heard a scream, a young girl's voice. He turned. It was his neighbor's daughter, Lena, just 10 years old. She was being pulled from her mother by 2 alien soldiers. Rain didn't think. He ran. He jumped from his balcony to the fire escape, raced down, and rushed into the hallway. He kicked open his neighbor's door. "Let her go." He shouted. The aliens turned. One aimed a weapon. Rain grabbed a metal pipe from the floor and swung. It connected with the alien's head, cracking the helmet. Sparks flew. The alien dropped. The second one lunged, but Rain ducked and slammed the pipe into its leg, then its neck. Both aliens were down. Lena cried as she hugged her mother. "Rain, help them up. Go to the basement," he said. "Lock the door. Don't come out unless I say so." They nodded and ran. Rain looked down at the alien helmet in his hands. His reflection looked back, angry, tired, and full of fire. "Didn't want this fight," he said. "But if you brought it here..." He walked back to his apartment, calm and focused. He went into the bedroom, pulled aside the carpet, and opened a hidden panel in the floor. A steel hatch. He opened it. A cold breath of air rose from below. He climbed down into a narrow underground room, his old war bunker. Dusty dark, but still intact. On the walls were weapons, armor, maps, and old journals. He lit a lamp. The light touched an old photograph, a picture of him in uniform, standing with his old unit. Most of them were gone now. He placed the alien helmet on the table. "This time, we're not fighting men," he said. "We're fighting monsters." He looked at Bolt, who had followed him down. "You ready, boy?" Bolt wagged his tail, then growled as the bunker door above them shook from distant explosions. Rain picked up an old rifle, loaded it, and strapped a combat knife to his belt. "They think we're weak," he said. They don't know what we become when we're cornered. Elsewhere in the city, alien troops set up command towers. They scanned humans, tagged them, and forced them into trucks. Resistance was small and crushed quickly. On a rooftop nearby, a teenager named Mira Tran watched through binoculars. She wasn't a fighter. She was a hacker, just 17, but brilliant with machines. She whispered into her headset, "They're jamming networks. I'm gonna try breaking through." Her younger brother, Kenji, hid behind her. "Can we stop them?" Mira didn't answer, but her eyes burned with something new. Purpose. Back in the bunker, Rain spread out an old map of the city. He marked alien positions using binoculars from his rooftop. A distant explosion shook the windows. His radio crackled. An old frequency. He picked it up. "Anyone out there?" "Repeat. Any Earth defense veterans, respond," Rain answered. "Carter." "Captain, New Arcadia Sector." "Sir," the voice replied. "You're one of the only surviving officers. Most city defense lines are down. Orders?" Rain paused, then said, "Tell the civilians to hide. Do not engage directly. We need time to regroup. And us?" Rain looked out the window at the smoke rising from the city. "We fight. In the shadows," he said. "Like monsters." Alien Command Center, orbiting above Earth, the Zarkith commander watched multiple screens. Human panic, surrender, resistance. One soldier approached. "Sir, some humans are resisting more violently than expected." The commander frowned. "They are unevolved, weak. Let them scream. Soon they'll kneel." But deep inside he felt something wrong. The humans didn't scream like other species. They didn't just fear, they raged. Later that night, Rain and a small group of ex-soldiers gathered in an old subway tunnel. They had found each other through old military frequencies. There were only 6 of them, all scarred, broken, forgotten by the world, but now needed again. "This is just the beginning," Rain told them. "They came for a weak species. Instead, they found us." Someone laughed. Another nodded. One whispered, "Then let's remind them what humans really are." Rain loaded his rifle. "We're not here to win today," he said. "We're here to survive today and fight tomorrow." Final scene. High above the Earth, Zarkith warships floated like shadows across the stars. Their lights blinked silently in the void. Inside one, a new report arrived. Unusual resistance activity detected. Human threat level increasing. The commander stared at the screen. One image showed a human man, face bloodied, eyes sharp, holding a rifle, standing over a burning alien body. Ray and Carter. The commander narrowed his eyes. "Find him and end him." The Zarkith ship hovered above the ruined city. Below, fires burned in the streets. Alien troops marched through empty roads. Buildings were half destroyed. The sky was still dark, even though it was morning again. Smoke covered the sun. Inside, the alien ship, Commander Velrath, paced across the command bridge. His sharp fingers tapped against a glowing screen. "Humans were supposed to kneel," he hissed. "Why are they still resisting?" An officer replied, "We underestimated them." "They are angry," Velrath growled. "Then show them fear." Scene 2, human-side, subway tunnels underneath New Arcadia. In an old subway tunnel, Captain Rain Carter stood over a map. 5 other humans stood around him, former soldiers, engineers, medics. They were survivors. Rain pointed at 3 red circles on the map. "These are alien supply camps. If we hit them, we cut off their local power." One man, Derek, frowned. "We're just 6 people, Rain. This isn't war, this is suicide." Rain looked him in the eye. "It's survival. Every day we live, we make them bleed. That's enough for now." Scene 3, Mira's hideout in a different part of the city. Mira Tran, the teenage hacker, worked quickly. Her fingers flew across the keyboard. Wires sparked, Around her, her brother, Kenji, brought her food, but she ignored it. She whispered, "I found their link. I can hear them. They talk in bursts, short code. But I'm learning it." Kenji sat beside her. "Why are you doing this?" Mira paused, then answered, "Because they took our future. I'm taking something back." On her screen, she tapped into an alien patrol route. A message flashed, "Zarkov drone route C7, target, civilian group, 80, 13 minutes. She gasped. They're heading to the old library. Scene 4. First human counterattack. Rain and his small team reach the edge of a destroyed park. Alien patrols scanned the area. Rain whispered, "We move silent. No guns unless we're caught." They crawled through the rubble, placing small homemade bombs under metal supply crates. The bombs were made from kitchen chemicals, scrap metal, and old batteries. Suddenly, a noise. An alien scout spotted them. It raised its weapon. Rain shouted, "Now!" A loud explosion ripped through the supply zone. Fire burst into the air. More aliens rushed in. The humans fired from behind walls and tunnels, retreating fast. Rain's team lost one man, Leo, but they destroyed 2 major supply stations. Scene 5. Back at Alien Hufveleth, watch the camera feed. Human attacks. Burning ships and Zarkith soldiers being dragged into the dark. He clenched his fist. Send a hunter unit. Find their leaders. Tear out this infection before it spreads. Scene 6. Hope grows. Word spread. Across the ruined city, small groups of survivors heard whispers. Some humans are fighting back. There's a captain leading resistance in the tunnels. They hit the aliens and lived. A mother in a shelter looked up. If someone's fighting, maybe we're not lost yet. Scene 7. Mira warns Rain through an old radio. Mira contacted Rain. "I tracked their new code. They're hunting you. They call you the Red Mark." Rain raised an eyebrow. "Good. That means they're scared." Mira paused. "Be careful. They're sending something stronger now. Not foot soldiers. Something worse." Rain looked at his team. They were tired, injured, but their eyes were sharp. "We hold the tunnels tonight. Tomorrow we hit them again." Scene 8. The first hunter attack. Late at night. The tunnels were silent. Rain walked with Bolt, checking supplies. Then a strange clicking sound echoed. Not footsteps. Not alien boots. Something heavier. Rain froze. Something's here. From the shadows, a tall figure appeared. Zarkith hunter class, over 8 feet tall, claws instead of fingers. Glowing red eyes. It moved fast. Too fast. It grabbed one of Rain's men and threw him across the tunnel. Rain fired twice. The bullets bounced off its armor. Bolt barked, leapt at it, but got slammed into the wall. Rain growled. "You picked the wrong hole to crawl into." He lit a trap wire. Flames exploded, covering the hunter in fire. It screamed, a terrible high-pitched noise. The team threw grenades, fired old RPGs. The creature finally fell, smoking. Everyone stood silent, breathing hard. Rain walked over and kicked the body. "We're not so easy to break." Scene 9. Velreth's rage in the alien mothership. Velreth watched the hunter's death on the screen. He roared and smashed a console. "How can these animals fight like this?" His advisor said quietly, "Perhaps they are more than we thought." Scene 10. Humans regroup. Myra joined Rain's team through the tunnels. She brought maps, tech, and hacked alien energy packs. She smiled nervously. "I don't shoot, but I can help things go boom." Rain laughed softly. "You'll fit right in." The team now had 12 people. Small, but growing. They sat together, sharing food, stories, and pain. Derek asked, "You think we'll win?" Rain replied, "I think we'll make them regret coming here." Scene 11. The message that night. Mira hacked the alien broadcast tower. She sent a short message across every alien screen. A human face appeared, Rain, to the ones who came to. Take our world, we're not so easy. You woke up something in us, something you should have let sleep. We are not afraid. We are not finished. And we are not alone. Closing scene, in orbit far above Earth, in deep space. Another Zarkith warship received the signal. The screen flashed, resistance level rising. Human threat level. Evaluating, ... The Zarkith general watched Rain's face. He leaned back in his chair. So, the monsters have teeth. A cold, silver room buzzed with machines. Inside, alien scientists stood around a large glass tank. Inside the tank floated a man. A captured human fighter, unconscious but alive. Dr. Zelv, a Zarkith biologist, tapped his claws against a control panel. His voice was calm but sharp. They heal faster than expected. Look at the cell growth. It's aggressive. Another alien turned. Commander Velrath wanted answers. Give him something useful. Zelv nodded. He pressed a button. A large screen lit up. It showed videos from Earth. Humans surviving wounds, fighting while bleeding. Even after being hit with alien weapons. These creatures don't stop. They should collapse, but they keep fighting. Their bodies are built for war. But worse, he paused, so are their minds. Scene 2. Resistance Tunnel Base Captain Rain Carter stood over a table. Beside him were Mira, Derek, and a few more survivors. Bolt the dog sat nearby, alert. Rain looked tired, but focused. There. Studying us, watching our tactics. Mira nodded. I tracked their drones. They're scanning injured humans. Like we're test subjects. Rain, they're not just here to conquer us. They want to understand us. And that makes them dangerous. Mira pulled out a small drive. I cracked part of their language. It took days, but I translated some. Files, one word keeps showing up. Project Rootfire. Derek frowned. Sounds like a weapon. Rain looked at the screen. Or worse, a plan. Scene 3. Flashback. The Zarkith Archives. Narration. The Zarkith Dominion has conquered over 400 planets. They studied every species, broke them, bent them. We see images, alien ships over forests, oceans, ice worlds. Every world eventually bowed, but one entry in their database is incomplete. We zoom in on an ancient Zarkith war record. It shows early contact with Earth, a scout mission nearly 70 years ago. The scout ship never returned. One final log plays, warning, the species is unstable, unpredictable, violent. The file ends, Scene 4, Rain's memory that night. Rain sits alone, cleaning his rifle. Mira walks in and sits beside him. Myra, you okay? Rain stares ahead. I fought in the border wars, thought I'd seen the worst. But this is different. They don't just kill, they erase. Mira, but they don't know who we are. Rain nods. Not yet. Scene 5. The kidnapping. Suddenly, alarms go. Off in the tunnel base. Screens echo. Rain grabs his weapon. Bolt barks and runs ahead. An explosion rocks the tunnel wall. A Zarkith raiding squad breaks in. Fast, silent, brutal. They throw gas grenades. Red smoke fills the air. In the chaos. 2 humans are dragged away. One of them is Kenji, Mira's younger brother. Mira cries out, Kenji, no. Rain tries to follow, but the wall collapses between them. Scene 6. Inside the alien ship, human prisoners Kenji and another fighter wake up inside a dark alien cell. Across from them is a broken mirror. In the reflection, Kenji sees something. Moving, a mechanical arm, scanning his body. Alien voices echo. He is young, but full of fire. Keep him alive. Kenji whispers, you're going to regret this. Scene 7. Rain's anger. The plan back in the tunnel. Mira is shaking. She clutches her brother's jacket. Rain kneels beside her. We'll get him back. Mira, you don't know where they took him. Rain stands. We will, because now we need to know our enemy. He turns to the group. We're going to steal their tech. Get inside their system. Learn how they think. Derek, you mean break into a Zarketh core station? Rain, exactly. Scene 8. The infiltration. That night, Rain, Mira, and 2 others sneak through the ruined sewer lines. Above them is Sector 12, a Zarketh communication tower. They wear stolen alien armor, repainted and reshaped. Mira hacked the helmet signals to make them invisible to scanners, but only for 15 minutes. Inside the base, alien engineers move like shadows. Rain and team slip through, hiding behind machines, copying data. Mira plugs a device into the main core. Suddenly alarms. Intruders detected. Sector lockdown activated. Rain yells, grab the drive. Go. The team runs. 1 man is shot. Mira almost drops the device, but Rain grabs her and pulls her to safety. They escape through a vent just before the whole sector is sealed. Scene 9. Project. Root fire revealed back in the tunnel base. Mira connects the drive to a hacked screen. Files. Open. Alien text scrolls. She translates in real time. Project Root Fire. Full atmospheric burn. Target, human cities. Method, orbital plasma net. Execution date, 3 Earth days from now. Derek, they're going to burn the sky. Rain. No, they're going to burn us. Myra gasps. Another line appears. Phase 2, psychological test complete. Conclusion. Humans are not compatible with servitude. Extermination recommended. The room falls silent. Rain clenches his fist. They studied us, and they decided we're too wild to control. Mira stares at the screen. So they plan to erase us. Scene 10. Rain's speech. Rain steps up, looking at the tired, frightened faces of the resistance. They think we're animals, dangerous, untamable. They're right, but we're more than that. We protect, we adapt. We survive. They came here to control a species they didn't understand. Now they want to destroy us, but we still breathe. We still stand. And while we do, we fight. Closing scene. The Zarketh response back on the alien ship. Velrath receives a new report. The humans breached one of our towers. Project Rootfire has been exposed. Velrath's eyes glow. So, they think they understand us now. He presses a red button. Begin Phase 2. Release the strain. The lights dim. Deep below the ship, a large cage opens. Something screams inside. Something not fully alien, not fully human. The city was silent. No alarms. No fire. Just fog. Thick, low fog covering the streets like a blanket. The Zarketh ships floated above like silent giants, blinking with red light. A Zarketh patrol unit moved through the streets, scanning shadows. One alien soldier clicked his communicator. No activity. Area clear. He turned to his squad, but they were gone. Unit 3? Respond. Nothing. He spun around. Something moved behind the fog. Fast. Unseen. A sharp claw reached out of the dark and pulled him into the alley. The only sound was a wet snap. The fog swallowed everything. Scene 2. Resistance. Tunnels. Rain Carter stared at the city map on the wall. Markings showed alien patrol routes, tunnels, and power lines. Mira, Derek, and the rest of the team sat around. Mira spoke first. There's a strange pattern tonight. Patrol signals are disappearing. Fast. No gunfire, no backup calls, just silence. Rain frowned. Maybe we're not the only ones hunting now. Derek leaned forward. You think someone else is fighting back? Mira? Or something? Rain turned to Bolt. The dog was growling. Softly, ears up. He smells something, Rain said. Something bad. Scene 3. Kenji in captivity inside a dark alien lab. Kenji sat in a glass cell. His face was bruised. Around him were computers, alien symbols, and a glowing chamber across the room. A scientist entered. Dr. XELV. He spoke in broken human language. Your kind does not break. We learn now why. Kenji looked up. You're afraid. Doctor. Zelv tilted his head. No, we are curious. Kenji pointed at the locked chamber behind him. What's in there? Zelv smiled, a cruel, cold grin. A gift, made from you. He walked away. Inside the chamber, something moved. Scene 4. Night Recon Team Rain, Mira, and 2 others crept through the city's lower district to investigate. The fog was heavier here. The buildings were dark and broken. Mira held a scanner. I'm picking up strange heat signatures. Not alien, not human. Suddenly, they saw it. On a wall, high above the street, a Zarketh soldier's body, torn in half, stuck like a warning. Blood dripped silently. Rain raised his rifle. We're not alone. Then came the sound. Not footsteps. Not machines, breathing, wet, heavy, close out from the shadows. A shape leapt out. Long claws, twisted armor, glowing red veins. The first strain. It wasn't fully alien. It wasn't fully human. It was something new. Fast, strong, and completely mad. Scene 5. First strain battle. The creature crashed into the group. One resistance fighter was thrown against a wall. Another fired, but the bullets barely slowed it. Rain rolled and slashed its leg with a combat knife. Mira tossed an EMP grenade. Flash. The creature screamed as the light hit it. Falling back in pain. Mira gasped. Its eyes, they're too sensitive, Rain yelled. Use light. Blind it. They fired flares and flash rounds. The creature stumbled. Confused, Mira hacked a streetlight and overloaded it. The bright flash stunned the beast. Rain fired one last shot into its eye. It fell. Everyone was silent. Derek, breathing hard, whispered, "What the hell was that?" Rain, a weapon. Designed to be let loose at night. No mercy, no control. Mira, they're trying to scare us into hiding. Rain, it won't work. Scene 6. Zarketh ship. Velrath watches. Commander Velrath stood in front of a glowing screen. Phase 2. Field test complete. Doctor. Zelv entered behind him. Strain 1 was effective. Human response was fast, but fearful. Velrath growled. Fear is not enough. Prepare more. 10 more. Zelv bowed. As you wish, Commander. Scene 7. Hope in the tunnels. Back in the resistance base. Mira adjusted floodlights. We need more lights, everywhere. These things hunt in the dark, Rain nodded. Then we take the night away from them. They worked through the tunnels, setting up mirrors, flash traps, solar-powered torches. One young girl asked Rain, "Will they come again?" Rain knelt beside her. "Yes, but this time, we'll be ready." Scene 8. Kenji escapes in the lab. Kenji faked sleep. When the guard entered, he attacked with a sharp piece of metal he had hidden. He fought hard, wild, desperate, and ran for the exit. He hit an alarm, then smashed a control panel. The chamber holding the next strain opened by mistake. Kenji turned, wide-eyed. Oh no. Scene 9. The escape and the hunt. Kenji escaped through the vent systems as the creature broke. Back in the city, the fog thickened. More strains were released. But something strange happened. They started fighting each other. Rain watched from a rooftop. They can't control them. Mira scanned the creatures. They share some human brain patterns, aggression, chaos. They don't follow orders. Rain, they created monsters they don't understand, just like they misunderstood us. Scene 10. Turning the Rain made a plan. We lure the creatures toward Zarketh's supply zones. Let them tear their own creators apart. They used heat signals, fake movement, even sound recordings to lead the beasts toward alien bases. The result? Chaos. Creatures attacked alien patrols. Alien fire teams shot their own creations. The city turned into a war zone, not human versus alien, but monster versus master. Scene 11. Kenji reunites with Mira near the city center. Mira searched rooftops for signal. Then she heard it, her brother's voice through a cracked radio. "Mira, I'm alive." She ran toward the signal. Down the stairs. Through the smoke, they saw each other and hugged tightly. Myra cried, "I thought I lost you." "Kenji, they tried to use me, but I saw it, Mira. They don't control everything. They're scared too." Final scene. Rains. Voiceover Rain stood at a rooftop with Bolt beside him. Fires burned in the distance. But for once, some stars could be seen. They brought war. They brought monsters. They wanted us broken. But all they did was show us our own strength. We are the darkness they feared, the shadows they woke. And now, we hunt them. The sun rose slowly over New Arcadia. Red light passed through smoke and ash. The streets were burned, broken, and quiet. Too quiet. Captain Rain Carter stood on top of a broken parking garage. He looked at the city below, destroyed alien tanks, dead Zarkith soldiers, and strange claw marks on metal walls dot behind him. Bolt the dog sniffed the ground carefully. The creature blood still smelled fresh. Rain whispered, "We didn't win last night. We just survived." Scene 2. Myra's discovery in the resistance base. Mira worked with Kenji, typing fast on a cracked alien tablet. The drive they recovered was filled with Zarkith data. Mira frowned. "This file isn't just about weapons, it's about us." Rain walked in, curious. "What do you mean?" Mira tapped a screen. It showed human brain scans. "They didn't just study us. They tried to copy us. Our adrenaline, rage, fear response. They used it to build the strains." Kenji added, "That's why the creatures turned on them. They carry too much human instinct." Rain looked down at his hands. "We make terrible monsters, don't we?" Scene 3. Derek's struggle in another part of the tunnels. Derek cleaned his wounds. He stared at his reflection in a broken mirror. His face was pale. His eyes shaky. He muttered, "I saw my brother last night, but he's been dead for years." The others tried to help him, but Derek walked away, alone. Scene 4. Zarkith Council meeting in deep space. Aboard a larger command ship, high-ranking. Zarkith leaders met in a cold, dark chamber. Commander Vel Rath stood at the center. "Earth is resisting more than expected. The humans adapt, fight harder. Even their chaos is dangerous." A general hissed, "Should we begin full orbit fire?" Velrath growled, "No, we're not finished with them. I want to see how far they fall." Dr. Zelv added, "The next strain is ready, and it's different." Scene 5. The new threat night fell again. Mira's scanners beeped strangely. Kenji checked the radar. Something's coming. But it's not like before. Suddenly, the tunnel. Lights flickered. A low roar echoed. From the dark came a new type of creature, half human in shape, but bigger, stronger, and with armor-like skin. Its eyes glowed blue instead of red. It wasn't angry. It was focused. Rain stepped forward. "It's not wild like the others." The creature spoke. "You kill your own. You build war in your blood. I am that blood. I am what you are inside." Scene 6. The fight within. Rain attacked first. The others joined, shooting, trapping. But this time the creature learned during the fight. It dodged better. It used cover. It moved like a soldier. Rain shouted, "This one thinks like us." Kenji yelled, "Back, because it's based on you." Rain froze for a moment. Then the creature lunged. It pinned him down, face to face. "You gave me your rage, Captain, your pain, your memories." Rain growled, pulled his knife, and stabbed it through the neck. The creature fell, choking. Its eyes flickered like a broken screen. Scene 7. The breaking point, back at the base, Rain walked to his room alone. He stared at old war medals and photos on the wall. His voice was low. They didn't build monsters. They copied the ones already. Here, he remembered every war, every lost friend, every time he had to kill to survive. Mira entered quietly. "You okay, Rain? I don't know. What if they're right? What if I'm the monster, Mira? You're not, but maybe. Monsters are what we need right now." Scene 8. Derek returns. Dark twist. Later that night, Derek came back. But something was wrong. His eyes were different. His hands twitched. Mira stepped back. "Derek?" He smiled, but his voice was cold. "They didn't just study us, they infected us." Kenji shouted, "He's not Derek anymore." Suddenly, Derek attacked, fast and brutal. He slammed a guard into the wall. Bolt barked and tried to stop him. Rain tackled Derek, and they crashed into a weapon crate. Rain raised a pipe. "I'm sorry, brother." One final hit. Derek collapsed. Silence. Myra whispered, "They're turning us into them." Scene 9. Rain's decision. Rain stood before the group. "We can't trust our own minds anymore. They're inside us, watching, twisting. Kenji, so what now?" Rain looked at the map. "Now we go to them. No more waiting. We take the fight to their lab. We end their experiments. We burn the monster factory to the ground." The team nodded. Even after everything, they were still ready to fight. Scene 10. Zarketh responsive. Aloth listened to the final report from Earth. Strain 6 lost. Human core group moving toward our lab sector. He didn't panic. He smiled. "Good, let them come. Let them see what true monsters look like." In the background, something large growled behind the wall. Final scene. Marched toward fire. The resistance walked through the ruins, dressed in patchwork armor, carrying weapons made from both Earth and alien tech. Rain led them. Mira walked beside him, carrying a light cannon. Kenji wore Derek's jacket. Bolt limped but still followed. Above them, lightning flashed. Alien sirens echoed. The lab was close now. Rain spoke, half to the team, half to himself. They wanted to see the monsters inside us. Now they will. Cold wind blew through the ruins of New Arcadia. The night was darker than usual. Clouds covered the moon, and the city lights were long dead. Captain Rain Carter led the resistance forward through the cracked streets. They were near the edge of Sector 9, where the main Zarketh lab stood. Behind him walked Mira, Kenji, 5 fighters, and Bolt, limping but alert. They wore scavenged gear, mixed with alien tech, helmets, armor plates, recharged plasma clips. Everyone was silent, focused. This wasn't just a mission. It was personal. Rain whispered, "Tonight we finish what they started." Scene 2. Memories. Before battle, as they stopped for rest behind a collapsed building, Mira sat beside Kenji. She looked at the stars, barely visible through the thick smoke. Kenji said quietly, "Do you remember Mom's stories? About people who lit candles during blackouts?" Mira nodded. "She said the smallest flame can still fight the dark." Kenji smiled. "We're the flame now." Mira looked at him. "Then we better burn bright." Nearby, Rain looked at a photo. In his pocket, a small old picture of his wife and daughter. Both gone, killed long ago in the early invasion. He touched the photo gently, then slid it back into his armor. "This is for you," he said softly. Scene 3. Inside the lab walls. Zarketh Lab was a huge dome, built on top of human ruins. Strange lights pulsed along its walls. Inside, alien scientists worked fast, moving between glass tanks filled with floating bodies, part human, part alien. Dr. Zelv watched the main screen. Human heart scans, rage levels, neural response to fear, he whispered. They fight with love, with grief, with memory. Emotions make them stronger. Commander Velroth entered. And that is their weakness. Zelv hesitated. You think love is weakness? Velrath. No, I think it's flammable, and we'll burn it. He pressed a code on the console. A countdown appeared. Project Rootfire initiating. T-10 hour scene 4. The infiltration Rain and team reached the lab's power lines underground. Mira pointed to a junction box. If I can shut this down, their defenses will go blind. Rain nodded. Make it fast. Kenji, cover her. They split into teams. Bolt stayed by Myra's side, sensing danger. Suddenly, enemy footsteps echoed. Kenji raised his weapon. Contact. They're coming. Rain whispered through radio. No more hiding. Engage. The tunnels lit with gunfire. The team fought hard, using flash traps, smoke bombs, and alien blades. The Zarketh soldiers were strong, but the humans fought like demons. Scene 5. Rain versus Elite Guard inside the main lab corridor. Rain faced an elite Zarketh commander, taller, stronger, with advanced armor. The two circled each other, then clashed. Rain's blade met the alien's staff. Every strike was brutal. Every hit meant survival. The alien sneered. You're just a man. Rain spit blood and grinned. Yeah, that's the scary part. He flipped a knife into the alien's neck and drove his shoulder into its chest, smashing it through a wall. Scene 6. Mira and Kenji's risk. Mira hacked into the main power core. Sparks flew. She shouted, I need 60 seconds. Kenji held the line, firing from behind crates. Bolt dragged a plasma battery toward her, helping, but suddenly, an alien drone fired. Kenji was hit in the leg. He dropped. Mira screamed. Kenji! Bolt leaped at the drone, biting its wires, causing it to explode. Kenji was bleeding badly. He looked up at his sister. Keep going. Don't stop. You're the heart of this fight. Mira's hands shook, but she kept coding. You're gonna be okay, she whispered. We both are. Scene 7. Project Rootfire revealed back at the center of the lab. Rain found the final terminal. A massive screen displayed Earth from orbit. A giant grid was forming, Rootfire. An energy net meant to burn Earth's skies and wipe out all surface life. He stared in horror. They're really going to do it. Velraith's voice echoed behind him. You can't stop what's already begun. Rain turned. Velrath stood there, calm, cruel. You used war to survive. But we use it to evolve. We are order, you are fire. Rain raised his weapon. Then let's burn. Scene 8. Final fight. Rain versus Velrathi clashed. Rain hit fast, using alien steel. Velrath struck like lightning, cold and powerful, but Rain was human, angry, broken, and full of grief. You took my home, my people. He stabbed. Deep, my daughter. He broke Velrath's mask. The alien screamed, and now I take back everything. He grabbed a plasma core and shoved it into Velrath's chest. It exploded, lighting the room in blue fire. Scene 9. System. Shut down in the chaos, Mira finished the hack. The countdown to Rootfire froze. System override confirmed. Rootfire aborted. The alien grid shattered across the sky. Their control tower blinked, then died. Kenji lay bleeding, but alive. The team reunited. Rain looked around, bruised, dirty, breathing hard. But they had won. Scene 10. The world awakens across the planet. Alien power grids failed. Drones dropped from the sky. The Zarketh fleet above Earth began to retreat. In a refugee shelter, a child looked out the window. The lights, they're gone. His mother whispered, someone fought for us. In deep space, a signal played on all Zarketh screens. Rain's voice. You thought our hearts would break. You forgot they burn. Final scene, standing. In the ashes, Rain stood outside the lab ruins. Smoke behind him, Bolt beside him. Mira and Kenji sat nearby, resting. He looked toward the rising sun, for once not hidden by fire or smoke. Kenji joked, so, is it over? Rain shook his head. It's not over, not yet, but it's ours now. And we'll fight to keep it. A cold wind moved through the remains of the Zarkov lab. Smoke drifted upward. Sparks popped from broken alien machines. Rain Carter stood on the roof, watching the first clean sunrise in months. The sky was clear now. No alien drones, no. Root fire grid. Just light dot behind him. Mira wrapped a bandage around Kenji's leg. He winced but smiled. Hurts like hell. But I felt worse. School cafeteria food. They laughed. It was the first real laugh in a long time. But deep inside they knew the war wasn't over. Not yet. Scene 2. The message across Earth. Survivors picked up strange signals, not from the aliens, but from RAYN. It played on old radios, cracked phones, even hacked drones. This is Rain Carter. We shut down their lab. Their weapon failed. They bleed like us. They fear like us. And now we take back our sky. Hope returned like fire through dry grass. From broken towns, underground shelters, and mountain caves, humans rose. Resistance grew. Farmers picked up rifles. Mechanics fixed stolen ships. Children painted HFY on walls. Humanity fights you. Scene 3. Zarkov Strike Command far in orbit. The last Zarkov command ship hovered over Earth's atmosphere. Inside, alien leaders argued. General Skroth shouted, "We should have destroyed them." Dr. Zelv, wounded, replied, "We tried." And they keep adapting. Velroth was gone, dead by Rain's hand. Now the command was split. One admiral growled, "What are your orders?" A voice replied from the shadows, deep, calm, ancient. "Bring down the fleet." It was the first, the original Zarkov mind. No more experiments, no more control, just extinction. Scene 4. Plan of the Sci-Fi Ring gathered his team. He stood in a stolen alien dropship. The crew? Mayra, Kenji, Bolt, 2 pilots, and a squad of fighters. He spoke clearly. They're sending the final fleet. If it reaches full orbit, we're done. But their command ship has a weak point, Sky Core Alpha. We fly up. We break in, we blow it from the inside. Mira added, if we take out Sky Core Alpha, the whole system collapses. Kenji joked, no pressure, right? Rain smiled tight. We burn the sky or die trying. Scene 5. Launch. The Resistance launched from hidden runways. 5 human-modified ships rose from the ground, loud, shaky, but determined. Alien. Sensors picked them up fast. Zarkov drones flew to intercept. Incoming. Mira shouted. 5 hostiles, 3 o'clock. Kenji manned the turret, blasting 2 down. The rest weaved through fire. Rain grabbed the controls. Brace for breach. The dropship hit the edge of the command ship. Metal screamed. Bolts. Snapped, then crashed inside. Scene 6. Inside the beast, the team entered the Zarkov ship. It was dark, massive, glowing with green veins of light. The walls moved slightly, almost alive. Bolt growled. Something wasn't right. Kenji whispered, this place feels wrong. Suddenly, black liquid dripped from the ceiling. A twisted form dropped down, a Zarkov Guardian. Part machine, part beast, massive arms. No eyes. It screamed. Rain shouted, hold the line. Gunfire and plasma ripped through the hallway. The creature died, but more came. Mira yelled, we go up. The core is on the top deck. Scene 7. The final climb. Stairs were gone. Elevators offline. They used ropes, magnetic boots, and grapples. Fighters were picked off one by one. Kenji was hit in the shoulder, but kept going. Bolt was nearly crushed by debris. Mira pulled him free. Rain reached the final door. Then stopped. Inside, the Sky Core pulsed. A massive blue orb, beating like a heart, but it wasn't alone. A final enemy stood in front of it. Tall, armored, familiar. Rain whispered, Velrath? But no, it was a clone. Stronger, pure alien, no emotion. You killed one, I am many. Rain stepped forward. And I'm still just one man. Let's finish this. Scene 8. Burn it down. Rain fought the clone like a man possessed. He used fists, steel, fire. Every strike was fueled by loss. The clone roared and threw Rain into a wall. Rain got up, bleeding. Mira screamed, tossing him a bomb pack. Use it. Blow the core. Rain caught it, turned, jumped toward the core. The clone tackled him. They wrestled near the power stream. Rain yelled, "This is for Earth." He pulled the pin, then drove the bomb into the clone's chest. Boom! Fire, light, silence. Scene 9. Escape. Kenji and Mira grabbed Rain's limp body. Bolt barked. Alarms blared. Mira, we've got 60 seconds before full implosion. The team ran. Gravity failed. The hallway bent. They reached the ship. Rain's eyes opened weakly. Did we? Mira smiled through tears. You did it. You burned the sky. They launched just as the Zarkov command ship exploded in a wave of blue fire. Across Earth, people saw it. A burning trail across the stars. And they cheered. Final scene. One last flame. Days later, Rain sat near a fire, healing. The world was still broken, but free. Kenji, arm and sling, roasted something over flames. Mira tinkered with old tech. Rebuilding. Bolt chased shadows. Rain looked up at the night sky, empty now. No ships, no threats. They came with machines. Claws, fire, power. But we had hearts. He stood. Now it's our turn to rebuild, brick by brick, flame by flame. Fade to black. The world was quiet. The sky, once filled with Zarkov ships, was now calm. The great alien fleet was gone, broken by human hands. What remained of it burned in low orbit, glowing like shooting stars. On Earth, people stepped out from bunkers, tunnels, basements. They blinked in sunlight they hadn't seen in months. From the ashes, Earth began to breathe again. And yet, peace wasn't simple. The planet was wounded. Cities were destroyed. Families were lost, but humanity had survived. And that was everything. Scene 2. Rain's broadcast. Captain Rain Carter, bruised and healing, sat before a simple camera. The resistance had powered up old satellites. The signal was weak, but it worked. He spoke calmly, slowly, to anyone still listening. It's over. We won. They came to break us, control us, erase us, but they didn't understand who we are. We are not just bones and blood. We are fire. We are love. We are rage. We are memory. We were never just fighting for survival. We were fighting to remind the stars that we exist. Scene 3. Across the globe. Rain's voice spread. In the ruins of Paris, survivors painted murals of human fighters holding back alien shadows. In Kenya, engineers repaired solar plants with alien scrap. In Japan, children flew paper planes with Zarkov tech glued to the wings. In Brazil, farmers walked out holding tools like weapons, ready to rebuild. Everywhere, a single message spread on walls, shirts, radios. They were not ready for us. Scene 4. The return of the team. Back at the new Arcadia base, Mira, Kenji, and Bolt worked side by side. Kenji adjusted a solar with one hand, the other still in a sling. Mira used old parts to build a mobile scanner for food, water, and safety. Zones. Rain sat with a map, marking clean zones and danger spots. They were no longer just fighters. They were guardians now. Scene 5. Zarkov homeworld. Epilogue twist. Far away, in a distant galaxy, the Zarkov homeworld burned slowly. Sky towers fell. Their people screamed. A figure stood in a dark temple, tall, cloaked, surrounded by screens showing Earth. We underestimated them. Another voice behind him. You said they were weak. The figure turned. Its face was not fully alien, but not fully human either. They were weak, but they chose not to stay that way. He looked into the stars. Earth is not a target anymore. It's a warning. Scene 6. Rain's last stand. Flashback. Rain sat alone near the grave of his wife and daughter. He placed a dog tag on the stone. You said people never change, but I think they can. Not easy, not fast. But when it matters, we do. He stood. And now, we protect what's left. Scene 7. Building begins in every part of Earth. People worked together. Borders faded. Flags became cloth for wounds and shelters. Soldiers turned to farmers. Scientists studied alien tech to heal, not to harm. Kids played again, laughed, ran without fear. Mira trained young scouts. Kenji opened a signal station to talk with other survivors worldwide. Bolt chased birds, slower now, but still brave. Scene 8. A final signal. One night the scanner beeped. Mira checked, a faint signal from deep space. Rain walked in. Another alien race? Mira smiled. No, a human colony ship. Lost for years, they're alive, and they heard us. Kenji laughed. Guess we're not alone after all. Rain looked at the stars. Time to make sure we're ready if anything comes again. Final scene. Humanity's rise. The camera zooms out. Earth, still scarred, but glowing. Cities with human and alien tech blended. Solar farms. Sky towers. Rivers flowing clean. And a statue in New Arcadia. Rain, standing with Mira, Kenji, and Bolt. Weapons at their sides, hands raised toward the stars. A plaque reads, "They invaded at dawn. But humans fought like monsters, and we never stopped." HFY, humanity fights you.